Hey y'all, it's Riot. Welcome back to Weekly Hyperfixations. Um, if I sound a little different, it's because I was like super gnarly sick. Like really sick last week. Last episode I was fine because that one was pre-recorded, which thank God I had been doing that. Otherwise, I would have completely missed a week and that would have been terrible. So we're back. I've taken medicine right before this, so hopefully I don't start melting or something. Also, because I was sick for literally an entire week, it feels like these notes are kind of all over the place. They're not, but it feels like they are. For example, my first two bullet points don't go together at all and have like barely any words. As of recording this, it's Tuesday, the 25th. The Pokemon Presents is in 2 days, and I'm very excited about it. I'm assuming we'll get more information about the new game, Legends Z to A, or whatever. So I'm excited about that. And I'm really hoping they give us something to be excited about besides just like a little more information. You know, like, oh, maybe some new Mega Evolutions, maybe a new Evolution because it's the year of Eevee, quote unquote, or whatever. You know, something new and exciting that's not just like, here's some gameplay, because I mean, gameplay could be exciting. We don't know exactly if it's going to be the same as Legends Arceus, but still on a limb with that one. Next in my notes just says Miku no money, because Baby no money, oh my god, Baby no money cosplayed Miku, and it was really funny and really good. And dude's just out here side questing. You know how it is. You know how I am with people who side quest. Like Post Malone has Oreos now for some reason. Yeah, I have no idea. SNL 50 happened. I didn't really pay attention to too much about it, except for it's been kind of hard to avoid seeing most of that wedding skit, in which, you know, Sabrina Carpenter's one of the bridesmaids, but she went to the bachelor party, and Domingo and Roberto or whatever, and Pedro Pascal's there. Yeah. Saw this really funny thing where, you know, Sabrina Carpenter let it slip that she finds Pedro Pascal hot. First of all, why are we surprised by that? Why is anyone listen, have you seen the man? But also, there's this little clip, you know, of her like them both dancing while or whatever while he's singing or something. And at one point he does like the thing where you like touch someone's lower back to like get them to move closer to you, like kind of an indication of like, no, you can move closer to me, that's okay. But he did it in a way where I'm like, the hoe's gonna love this. The hoe's gonna love this. So I surprisingly haven't seen as many things on Tumblr about it, because I feel like, you know, Tumblr really like that. But perhaps I'm the one who needs to put it there. I don't know. But it was beautiful, and the fact that people were surprised that Sabrina was like, no, Pedro Pascal's attractive. Why are you surprised that she's saying that? Half the people saying that are around her age. Anyway. Um, some really funny, saw some really funny ship posting, Marvel Rivals related. Characters that wouldn't normally interact being shipped together. It was this really funny, and I'll show it, but this really funny picture of Loki trying to kiss Mantis, and she like misses the mark and like licks him. It's cuter than how I described it, I promise. But I was like, oh, thank God, this might help us get back into where shipping territory used to be. Because, and a lot of people have shared this sentiment, shipping, people act like, basically when COVID happened, we got all of these, what Tumblr people would call very normal people, like basic people. They all flooded into fandom culture because they didn't have anything else to do because it was 2020. And now we have people who genuinely believe that you cannot ship characters with other characters if they do not interact or if they're from a different thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You were not there for all of the people shipping Princess Elsa and Jack Frost. You weren't there for that. You don't understand that no one should care about that. I literally saw something where someone was like, can we not do that? No. Sorry, this is our house, not yours. What do you think? Sorry. Who are you? Yeah, got really mad about it. Because also, it has almost the same vibe of someone trying to say that Wolverine isn't queer. Have you read a comic? Have you seen? Sorry. First of all, 5'2" man. Wolverine is not Hugh Jackman's height. Wolverine is 2 or 3 or whatever. So first of all, you're already wrong. I don't think you can, if you can't tell me how tall this character is, canonically, I don't think you should be trying to tell me who he do or do not like. Just saying. Kind of self-explanatory. Oh my gosh, I do not want to start coughing. Another comic book related thing. Guys, can we get rid of Paul? This is Spider-Man related now. Can we get rid of Paul? No one likes him. Literally no one likes him. Hey, I know. Hey, guy running Spider-Man comics right now, I know your philosophy is that you will get people to buy the comics by making them by rage baiting them. Yeah, sure, that can work in the immediate. But those comics are going to depreciate in value very fast because no one's going to want them because they have that asshole Paul. Literally, I saw a tweet where it's the scene where Paul's kids literally physically disappear from, like, literally his hands. Like, he's reaching out to them and then they disappear. And someone was like, how can you not feel bad? And everyone's like, did you read the comics? Do you have the context? No one likes this. No one likes this. Literally, I need you to know, in my notes, all it says is Paul and then a little frowny face. That's all it says in my notes. And I could probably go on for the whole length of an episode. I'm not going to, though, but I could. If there was a weird cut, I coughed real loud. Sorry. Another thing that happened is that Joann's Fabrics is officially bankrupt. And not just the state of bankruptcy that they had previously, where they were going to try and keep some stores open. Joann's is being eliminated. Joann's is on the chopping block this week. No more Joann Fabrics, ever. Which is insane, by the way, because unless you live in a city that has an abundant fashion district, and has a lot of fabric stores that are just for fabric. So like I know in Atlanta there's a lot of them. But what sucks is that in towns where that's not a thing, or if the town is just too small, or you can't really travel outside of town for something like that, the only place to buy fabrics left is going to be Hobby Lobby. And you can see where the problem is there. So that sucks. Also, Hooters went bankrupt, which makes sense to me, but also feels weird as someone I've never been. I've seen them. They're real. I as a southerner who's never been to a Hooters, kind of weird that those are being eliminated. Thank God, but like also in the South, minimum wage is so low that you need something like that to make up for minimum wage being so low. In order to make it up in tips, you kind of need an environment like Hooters. So a lot of girls are going to be losing a lot out of that. So that's a whole ordeal. I'm going to cough here in a second. I can feel it after dying momentarily. Okay. So I'll be so real with y'all. Well, let me touch on one other funny thing before I get into basically only talking about theater people stuff. I saw a tweet about Dragon Ball. I assume something recent because I've never seen that scene before, and I feel like it would circulate the internet pretty hard. And it's, Vegeta is fighting some big guy or whatever. And Bulma, his wife, okay, is like, you need to stop fighting him, you will literally die. And Vegeta's like, no. She's like, you need to let everyone else do some of the fighting so that you do not die. And he goes, no, I'll do it whether I die or not. And the bad guy's like, well, then you'll die or whatever. And then Bulma clearly has a moment where she's like, my husband is an idiot. And she goes, if you do not come down from there, I'm never taking a bath with you again. And he folds. He folds right then and there. And someone, tweeted that clip and was like, this man is ridiculous. He folded so quickly. First of all, the way you say that makes me think that you don't know anything about Vegeta. Vegeta, listen. Listen. I am extremely familiar with characters in which the guy isn't really smart, but he would do anything for his wife. Literally would do anything for his wife. I can only think of one example off the top of my head, and I don't want to... Okay, kind of like a Scott Summers vibe. Okay? That man would do anything for his wife, even if she's actively being mean to him. Or actively doing something stupid. Like, this man would do anything for his wife. That's the energy we have here. This man would do anything for his wife. Okay? So, seeing that tweet, I was just like, do you know anything about Vegeta? Do you know anything about Vegeta? Because you're acting like you don't. And in the Dragon Ball community, considering how much screen time Vegeta has, that's a little concerning for your general knowledge of the anime. How do you not know about this? And then someone drew, there's that image, that meme image of Vegeta in the rain. And there is a version where someone drew Goku like drinking the rain next to him or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. Just the picture of him in the rain. And then someone drew just, you know, like edge of bathtub and then Bulma and Vegeta. And I was like, yeah, dude would do anything for that. He got so mad. Okay, anyway, I need you to know that my note in here, in my notebook, okay, for the Spider-Man character Paul, it says Paul, frowny face. You go down a little bit and then it says Vegeta, smiley face. Not sure that I'm not still sick. So now we're gonna get into kind of more of a more leaning towards theater stuff, okay? Y'all ready for this? So first and foremost, the SAG-AFTRA Awards happened. A lot of good things happened there. Primarily, Jane Fonda accepted the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm stupid and didn't pull up the thing I said I was going to pull up. Hold on. We'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, we're back. So, Jane Fonda was accepting her Lifetime Achievement Award and at the SAG-AFTRA Awards. And she very poignantly reminded everyone, hey, empathy is not being weak or being woke. And she literally said, and by the way, woke just means you give a damn about other people. Damn right. Anyway, sorry if I got real loud there. Whew. Okay. Let's see. Not SAG-AFTRA Awards related, but film and theater related, is that Hideo Kojima, you know, who wrote confusing things such as Death Stranding and all the Devil May Cry stuff, or is that what it is? Right? Yes, it's Devil May Cry. Anyway, he went and saw the newest Captain America movie. And to reiterate, this man is known for writing confusing plot. Okay? His normal is writing confusing plot. He came out of the Captain America movie and dude was like, I had no clue what was going on. When did the shield get passed? Am I confused because I didn't watch that show? Because I only watched the movies? Like, it really reflects on how badly Marvel handled passing the shield when someone who is known for writing confusing plots can't follow what you've written. So yikes. It didn't go great. So yeah, that's whimsical and fun. Back to the SAG-AFTRA Awards. They were kind of... Listen, y'all, and I'm gonna say it now. I'm pretty sure that 2025 is the year of nostalgia. It really feels like it's ramping up towards that. You know, we've got... even just within the SAG-AFTRA Awards, we had... the new girl duo reunite to present an award. We had, and both of these were from, what is her name? Kristen something. I watched all of Veronica Mars. You think I would know her name better. Sorry that there's so much pausing in this episode. Kristen Bell is what I was trying to say. she gave us not one, not two, but three different, at least three that I found, three different nostalgia moments. We had her doing a New Girl bit, or no, sorry, not New Girl, Gossip Girl. She did a Gossip Girl bit. She did a bit about forgetting Sarah Marshall that she did with Jason Segel. And she also did a bit about The Good Place. She did all of that in one night, by the way, which is insane. Also, these two people from the X-Files, I've never seen the X-Files, but these two people from the X-Files also had a reunite moment to present an award, and that was a cute little bit they did. And I mean, people just went ham on the nostalgia this time, and I'm really thinking, and a lot of like, I was, watching some of the carpet stuff, and someone asks Jane Fonda about a 9 to 5 remake, and she's like, it needs to be remade. And there were enough people talking about nostalgia and about maybe remaking things, and there's some things that are already being remade, and I just, it kind of clicked in my head. I was like, oh, we're really aiming for nostalgia this next year, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of people in that industry are kind of recognizing that because of how the rest of this nation is doing, all that people are really going to want to look at and stuff is going to be entertainment. Because, well, what do you do when other things aren't going well? You turn to entertainment to forget about it. And I really think that the avenue we're choosing is nostalgia. It really seems to be nostalgia that is going to be the avenue for that. And I think it's really interesting. It also really got me thinking about, in general, like, what if I was chosen to interview people, how would I interview them? If I got to make the questions, what would I ask them? And I'm thinking of really deep diving on that, actually. I also think it'd be really interesting to ask, like, if you're interviewing like an actor who this is like a reprisal of their role, this is like, the second movie or whatever, stuff like that, to really just like interview them based on the character and not necessarily themselves. Even going as far as to ask in character questions. Like, I had this idea briefly. I was watching, I'm a Game Grumps enjoyer, and I was watching one of their episodes with Ben Schwartz because I love those episodes. And, most of the time now when Ben Schwartz shows up, it's for promoting Sonic. So, I was like, what are questions that you could ask Sonic the Hedgehog? And I think this was my first thought experiment about it. And the initial question I posited in my head was, what's one of the first things I would ask Sonic would be something along the lines of like, you're not from here. How weird is it to see people have a limit on speed imposed upon them? Do you know what I mean? Like, how would Sonic feel about the fact that a speed limit exists? And about, like, if he really took the time to sit down and figure out how that gets decided, and, like, there's just this sign that you just all have to follow, stuff like that, where you can ask an in-character question that really helps develop the character. I don't know. I thought that was a funny idea. And I did have like a whole list of characters and questions and stuff, but I think I may I have a new phone now. New phone. Yippee. And because my phone actually works, I'm thinking of maybe actually doing TikTok. So, because I don't want to clutter, like I've said before, I don't want to clutter up YouTube Shorts. Because that's stupid and I don't like that. And I know I can just copy paste post those. I don't want to though. Anyway. Oh, there was also a Devil Wears Prada reunion at the SAG-AFTRA Awards. So that really reiterates the nostalgia because there were direct quotes in that bit they did. Okay, we are going to Pyramid now. The Pyramid's a little silly, but I think it's okay. So, okay, on the first spot on the Pyramid, we've got Sabrina Carpenter. She's here mostly based on SNL 50. Also, she's just really pretty, and her deluxe album came out, the deluxe version of Short and Sweet came out. And those extra songs are just so damn good. Also, particularly love the collab with Dolly Parton. Really love the collab with Dolly Parton, honestly. So that's why Sabrina's on the Pyramid. Also, just her entire bit for SNL 50 was really funny to me. And, you know, people forget that she was a Disney kid. People forget that she can act. So, I'm glad that got to show again. You know what I mean? I always love when, you know, like if it would be an equivalent reaction if like Miley Cyrus acted in something. Because she was an actor for a really long time and now she just does music. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm glad you're not completely throwing that aspect out the window. Like you're not afraid of it, I guess. I don't know. So Sabrina's on the Pyramid. Next up on the Pyramid, we have Vegeta. That is just a himbo who loves his wife, Your Honor. I don't really think I need to say anything more about that. Also, fun fact, even before I finished watching the original Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z when I was younger, you know, there's not a whole lot of girls in Dragon Ball. That feels like a lot of the point, but excuse me. But, you know, there weren't a lot of girls in Dragon Ball. But immediately I picked Bulma. Like, I didn't even need to hear her speak. I was like, I like that one. Turns out I was right this whole time. She is still my favorite. Yeah, she's still my favorite. Also because, like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's himbo who really loves his wife. However, this himbo is like really strong. And this tiny little woman just like has him in a chokehold. And I love that so much. And she's enough of a tsundere attitude that it still feels like he really has to try with her outside of just the fact that he doesn't really have a brain. I love Vegeta though. But he's on the Pyramid. Him and his wife can share the spot on the Pyramid, honestly. Next up, we have a voice actor because the new Yakuza game came out. Yippee! And the English voice of Majima is Matthew Mercer. And now, if you're not really familiar with Yakuza, you may just be like, oh, Matt Mercer again. First of all, dude's a great voice actor, shove off. But also, Majima's voice kind of roller coasters real hard between like normal sounding and like screaming, and he's like, he's very silly. And the way Matt Mercer does Majima's voice in, because Yakuza has all those like karaoke kind of scenes. I've seen one of those. And Matt Mercer is very good at doing the exact same thing that the Japanese voice actor does, where his voice is kind of just cracking and like going all over the place, but that's a part of the bit. To the point in which people are literally saying that if Ukagi, I think that's his name, don't quote me on that, but if he spoke English, he would sound like this. He would sound like this. And I'm like, that is the best compliment you could get as a voice actor for a role like that, as such an important role like that. So Matt Mercer gets to be on the pyramid because of his work as Majima, because that shit's insane. All right. Next up on the pyramid. This one is Hold on. I'm gonna cough, I think. Okay. This one's really funny because it's okay. So currently, there's all these fashion weeks going on everywhere. And Burberry, known for plaid mostly, I think in a mainstream sort of way, Burberry is like this beige plaid with a couple of red lines in there. I feel like that's kind of what Burberry is to some people who aren't really familiar with the brand. Burberry had their fall 2025 show, which was really great. And, their whole campaign, London in Love, is really cute, and I love it. Nicholas Hoult isn't at all involved in this campaign. And that's the only time I'll mention him. But they have this guy in a suit of armor for their campaign. And I'm like, hey, yo, the Burberry Knight is cool as hell. Like, also just the commercial of two women getting into a taxi, and the knight is already in the back of the taxi in the middle seat, so they have to sit on either side of him. That in and of itself is beautiful. But also they had him go to the show, the fashion show in the full knight the whole set of armor. That's the coolest. Hey, Burberry, you're cooking. Oh my God, you're cooking. It's beautiful. The Burberry Knight is on the pyramid this week because, yeah, of course he is. No clue who's in there, by the way. Zero clue who's in there. But either way, doing the Lord's work, I guess. Okay, next up on the pyramid. There's no there's no particular thing I saw that she did this week to put her on the pyramid. She's just on the pyramid because she's cool. We got Dochi on the pyramid. Absolutely love her work. Also love her work with Tyler, the Creator. And I'm a big fan of, she won, I'm assuming, a Grammy, because that's what happened recently. That's the awards that happened recently. And, after that happened, a clip resurfaced of her 5 years ago where she was like, I just lost my job. I'm just going to go for it. And man, girl, did you go for it? Get into it. Like, juxtaposing the clip of her being like, I lost my job. I'm just going to, call a bunch of people tomorrow, bring in my stuff tomorrow, and we'll see where this goes. Juxtaposing that with her now, 5 years later, winning an award is huge, and I love it. Okay. So Dochi's on the pyramid this week. Go Dochi. And number 1 on the pyramid is Miss Jane Fonda. Not just because of her acceptance speech at the SAG-AFTRA Awards for the Lifetime Achievement Award. Not just her saying being woke just means giving a damn about other people, but also she has been on the right side of history her whole life. She's been at several different protests over the course of her life. She's even been arrested for some of the protests that she's been a part of. And she's just really cool in that way. And I think what she said at the awards really needed to be said, especially in front of a crowd of that many people who have such a high influence over mainstream media. It's beautiful. And I've seen people try to turn her speech into a slanderous headline, and they've missed the mark, you know? And like, even people who are basically what I'm trying to say is even people who are trying to be slanderous about what she said aren't really accomplishing that goal, because it's really hard to try and forcefully make a person sound bad when they literally just said you should give a damn about others. So, go Miss Jane Fonda. Hell yeah. I think the only thing I've seen her in is 9 to 5. But honestly, girl's got it. You know, when people are like, well, do you have what it takes? Do you have it? Yeah, she's got all of it, I think. I fear Miss Jane Fonda's got all of it. So that's the pyramid this week. It's a little silly. I literally wrote it right before hitting record, so there's just that. I'm also still a little bit sick, so that's fun. Next week, undoubtedly, I will talk about the Pokemon Presents, because that will be the most relevant thing in my mind. Also, my big theater hiatus is almost done. This coming week is the last few performances. We've got like 4 or 5, I think. So this week is our last week of performances, and then I am going on a reverse theater hiatus, where instead of not streaming anymore because I had theater for the whole month of February, instead I'm taking a hiatus from theater, and I'm not doing the next show. If they really need, like, I'm gonna go see the next show probably. I'm gonna volunteer to usher or something, but I'm not going to be in the show. They had auditions today, I didn't go. You know what I mean? And that's a big moment for me, because, you know, in my anxiety-riddled brain, if I don't keep doing it, then I'll just stop it completely, which I know is not true. I like theater too much to stay away for too long, but I know in my heart that I need a break from it for at least a little bit, at least a couple months. Maybe I'll work on I won't work on a show until the next season, basically. The 2025-26 season. So, yeah, I'm hoping that everything goes well. And that transitioning into that goes smoothly. So, with that, thank you all so much for watching. It does mean a lot to me that y'all are here and are watching this. And I know I don't do the best at, like, promotion and stuff, but to be fair, I have been very busy this month. But it means a lot to me that you're here and you're watching. You know, since it's such a small channel, any like or comment, particularly comments, really helps with growth. And, you know, it's a hobby. So, I care about it a lot, and it's just me doing everything right now. I don't have any editor or anything. It's literally just me. So, every like, every view, every comment, every subscribe, it helps me stay motivated. And also just the fact that you're willing to sit here with me each week and kind of go over what my neurodivergent brain hasn't been able to let go of this week and kind of track, you know, how that goes. And how, you know, trends change and things that are relevant enough that they stick in my brain each week and things like that. It means a lot. So thank you. This channel is functionally driven by you, the viewer. You know, the little PBS dedication, and to viewers like you. Thank you. Because it means a lot to me. So, that'll be all for this week. I'll see you next week. It'll be week 9. We'll probably be talking a bunch about Pokemon because I know myself, basically. So that'll be all for this week's episode. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you same time next week. So have a good one. Get some rest. Don't overdo it. All right? I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.